The people of the land have the same richness and diversity as the natural beauty of this great country. The interesting characters I've met in my travels have made me cry with laughter, warmed my heart with their down-to-earth, open nature, and made me shed a tear in compassion in hearing their hardship stories that they have endured. The land needs them to harness its bounty, and they need the land to be themselves. It is a bond often forged over generations. Australian farming is also a melting pot of cultures. In my travels and capturing their stories, I've met every culture, from those whose ancestors came in with the convicts, to the more recent immigrants who sought a life of opportunity in Australia. In a couple of cases, I've even had to take an interpreter with me as the farmers didn't speak a word of English. The Italians have been here for decades, and the Kiwis love to come across the Tasman and experience farming on a huge scale. But some of the Cambodians, Vietnamese, South Africans and Maltese, to name a few, have come here as refugees to carve out a new life for themselves and their families.
Sunli Sao from Cambodia is following in the footsteps of his godfather, who taught him to grow tomatoes. 37 years later, he's still fine-tuning this process. He sells his tomatoes locally and promises his customers that he will replace all unsaleable tomatoes with fresh ones. He makes pasta sauce with the soft tomatoes that his customers can't sell and gives it to the homeless shelters.
The Fijians, Tongans, Chinese, Vanuatuans and the likes come here as seasonal workers during the vital harvest months, working for 3 to 6 months, and they take their hard-earned money home to start small businesses of their own or build new houses for their families. Mundubra, once dubbed as the citrus capital of Queensland, has a dry winter climate that suits citrus growing. The winter months help the fruit mature and the dry weather enables favourable harvest conditions with less disease pressure. Harvest time is chaos, and Scott has found he gets the best results recruiting seasonal workers from overseas to hand harvest approximately 35 million pieces of fruit. Scott also grows grapes, blueberries and mangoes, which he exports to China and Arabia. Often, the shirt and jeans, hat and boots wearing farmers don't think of the seasonal workers as farmers. But at the end of the day, they are all part of the same big picture, the vital network feeding our nation. They might be doing back-breaking work, but in their eyes, their quality of life is far superior to where they came from. On many farms, you will find family roots that go deep, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and even 6th generation, with passion and drive that comes from thriving from being in nature and content to be working in harmony with the land. It all starts with the kids. Empower them to be and do the best they can, and they will make you proud.
Lake Farm on the pristine Kangaroo Island is the home of the bots. Just about everything on Lake Farm has started off small and become big. In its infancy, the farm was 400 acres. Now it's 2,500 acres, and they are dabbling in all sorts of agriculture, running sheep, cattle and free-range pigs. The nature of the stock numbers follows in the footsteps of their increasing landmass. The bots delight in producing tasty, succulent meat to sell into the commercial market, as well as their own farm brand, Lake Farm Fresh Meats Kangaroo Island. Everyone chips in at Lake Farm, especially the 3 little bots, Thomas, Pippa and Benjamin. It's a whirlwind, crazy life, but their philosophy is that life is worth living, making the most of every opportunity that may come their way and have fun along the way.
The land use for farming has dropped from 500 million hectares to 385 million hectares, and both trends are showing no signs of slowing.
One of the challenges of farming is actually appreciating the beauty of where I work and what I do. Based on the Fleurieu Peninsula south of Adelaide, I live in a spectacular part of the world, farming 1,800 stud and commercial Corriedale ewes. We have friends who love to come and camp here. They love to climb the hills and the trees, clamber over rocks, catch yabbies, go fishing and watch the sheep, birds and the kangaroos. When we join them, I have to be careful that I don't just look at the weeds that need to be pulled or the fence that needs to be fixed, or the neighbour's sheep on the wrong side of the fence. Sometimes the challenge is to work a bit slower and notice what's around me, because it really is a beautiful place to be.
Every page in these books serves as a memory and marks a point in history that will enrich generations to come in the future. Each property displays the heartbeat of passion, the eye of vision, the drive of determination, and the roots of resilience.